Hello, this is Daphne Elliott, and I'm teaching my husband, Josh Elliott. And we're going to talk about the UCC Contract Formation. You know what the UCC is?
No.
It's the Uniform Commercial Code. And since contract laws and their enforcement can vary from state to state, the National Conference of Commissioners started drafting common contract language in 1945, the UCC. It has been adopted in every state, and it's just to make things easier and more streamlined. That way there is less confusion when doing business in other states. So it acts kind of like a gap filler. So if a provision is not outlined in a contract, then we look for the UCC for that provision. So it's kind of like the UCC says that an offer can be accepted by any reasonable means of communication. However, if the contract stated the acceptance must be in writing, the UCC would not apply. Make sense?
No.
Yeah. And vice versa. So when does the UCC apply? It'll be applying to the sale of goods. So if it's a service contract, it doesn't apply. But if it's the sale of goods, then it does apply. And the rules vary depending on if one or both parties is a merchant. So business to business, like what you do, that has higher standards in the rules than if, you're selling or you're doing business with just somebody off the street, like a regular person. So to be considered goods, items must be tangible and movable. Like all that chemical and stuff that y'all sell. So that's where it can get kind of funny, because you've got the services obviously go under general contract law, and then goods obviously go under the UCC. But if you've got mixed goods and services, like both of our companies are mixed goods and services, I think. It's just whatever is predominant. So if it's predominantly service, then you would go under general contract law. But if it's predominantly UCC, goods, you go to the UCC. Any question?
No.
Yeah. So under the UCC, an agreement will fail if the parties intended to, will not fail if the parties intended to make a contract, or if the court can find reasonably certain basis for giving an appropriate remedy. Some of the guidelines that the UCC outlines is if the parties have not agreed upon a price of goods, the court can determine a reasonable price at the time of delivery. Payment is due at the time and place that the buyer is to receive the goods. Either party can terminate the ongoing relationship at will while acting in good faith. And if there is no quantity of goods to be sold, there's not a contract, unless it's stated that the seller will supply all the buyer's needs, which is like a requirement contract, or that the buyer will buy all the seller can produce, an output contract. So I would think y'all run into that. You probably run into that a lot with your chemical. Cause y'all got different kinds of contracts that y'all do, where they're, they have a certain amount that they buy, or y'all give them however much they need off of their estimate on how much they use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And these are only applicable if the contract does not state otherwise. Let's see. So merchant's firm offer. While non-merchants can revoke an offer anytime before acceptance, merchants cannot. They are held to a higher standard. If merchants have a written and signed offer, the offer is valid and cannot be revoked. The writing can be on a napkin, an email, a text, or a regular paper contract. The signing requirement only requires a symbol or some other proof that it came from the merchant offerer. So you could just, have a little symbol or put your one initial or whatever in response to an email, and that would be considered a signing. Funny, huh? The UCC indicates that offers have a specified time. If the time is not indicated in the contract, the offer will be open a reasonable time not to exceed 3 months. Okay, and then acceptance can be given by any reasonable manner, by accepting and or shipping goods conforming or not, shows that you accepted a contract. You have any questions?
Nope.
All right.
Learning, man.
I learned him up.